Imagine the scene. Early morning, the air is still, and suddenly on the horizon rises not just a glow, but a true column of fire shooting into the sky. This is not a movie and not a disaster teaser. This is yet another oil refinery burning in the Samara region, once again visited by neat guests. And this time, with a result as expressive as possible. We are talking about the Novokuybyshevsk oil refinery, owned by the company Rosneft. Its projected capacity is almost 9 million tons of oil per year, but by the beginning of the current year, the facility had already dropped to 6 million. And now, by all indications, it has sunk even lower, essentially entering a state of complete silence. You may ask, so what? Another plant caught fire? But this facility is far from an ordinary gasoline factory. It produces around 20 different types of petroleum products, fuel for cars, fuel for airplanes, including military aviation. In other words, its shutdown hits both civilian transportation and military logistics. And yes, this is the very refinery that Ukraine congratulated in early August, when a fireball rose above it the height of a 350-meter building. Sounds fantastic, but the footage is hard to forget. That strike was the first warning. Attacks on oil infrastructure would become systematic, a promise that, incidentally, has been kept. This time, the flames didn't reach the same height, but still looked impressive. Given the distance, nearly 1,000 kilometers from the border, the strike appears particularly telling. Not every drone can reach central Russia, but this one arrived precisely. And if anyone still believes that depth equals safety, it's time to rethink that belief. Because now, it seems, not only the usual drones are being used, but a whole range of other solutions, including work by internal assistants, those very corporals with cigarettes. More and more, the question is being asked, was it really a drone? Or did someone just happen to be in the right place at the right time? Of course, officials will insist that everything was intercepted, everything destroyed, all debris collected. But for some reason, those debris always appear exactly where it hurts the system most. At transport hubs, at fuel depots, at plants that keep the capital supplied with fuel and lubricants. And here comes the key point. This refinery is not just a complex of pipes and tanks. It is a logistical center. Delivery routes converge to it. From it depart trains with fuel for vehicles and aviation. Imagine, somewhere near Belgorod, a strike helicopter is being prepped for takeoff, but the kerosene never arrives because its route burned up back in Samara. This no longer looks like a random series of fires. This resembles a deliberate scheme to slowly and methodically dismantle logistics. One strike after another, not for noise, but for results. And while the TV talks about the resilience of defense, in reality, bases, airfields, and supply hubs continue to ignite under precision strikes. And here's another detail to the picture: a fresh NATO patch against the backdrop of a burning Russian oil plant. This is not just a meme. This is a deliberately sent signal. We are watching, documenting, turning smoke into a symbol. Is that nerve hit sounding a bit too loud?